beautiful it is. Oh my goodness. So today is like the very first sunny day we've had in a while, at least here in the New Jersey Hoboken area. I'm currently in Hoboken on my way to get lab work. So hi, my name is Alexis. Back in December, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. So I am now seeing an endocrinologist, but pretty much this is my life. This is the reality, and I want to make the best out of this. And with that being said, because I have an autoimmune disease, the reality of that is that I have to do lab work every 3 months. So I'm currently on my way to LabCorp, and I'm gonna run some labs to see how my T4, T3, and how my TSH levels are doing. It's such a beautiful day. So I just got done with doing lab work, and again, my name is Alexis. If you don't know me, back in December 2025, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disease. So I decided to film this because this is pretty much my life. I have to do lab work every 3 months, and next week I am going to have another visit with my endocrinologist. And so with the lab work, we could see where my T3, T4, TSH levels are at. However, we are right outside Baking Mama. Baking Mama is like my ultimate favorite bakery in the Hoboken area. I'm not gonna get anything because in my last YouTube video, I decided to go gluten-free to be able to see if that will help with my symptoms, with like my Hashimoto symptoms. However, since then, it's been like January, February, it's March 9th today. I started the diet in January, and since then I have done my best to remain gluten-free. There has been like maybe 3 times where I've had gluten since then, just to like try something out. My friend made desserts and she gifted me one. I was like, you know what, okay, let's do it. I'm just gonna like have gluten for today. That was my last video. Now my next goal is to be able to regulate my menstrual cycle. I recently got off the IUD, and I would say it's been like 3 weeks now since I got the IUD removed, and I've been very hormonal, emotional, and just like all over the place a little bit in a way. Yeah, we're here in Hoboken. I'm right outside Baking Mama, which is very, very tempting to go in, but I'm not gonna do it. However, I decided to film today because it's just such a beautiful day today. It's like the very first sunny day we've had in a while in Hoboken and the New Jersey area, and I'm just like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. Like, I'm so excited. Like, it's been cold. I would say like 2 weeks ago there was like a snowstorm, or was it 3? Like 2 weeks ago there was a snowstorm. So I'm enjoying walking out in the sun right now because it feels so good. Anyways, it's very tempting to go into Baking Mama because I love sweets. However, a lot of sugar does tend to like trigger my Hashimoto symptoms and a lot of the pain in my wrist. And I keep talking about this over and over again, and it's starting to get annoying in my YouTube videos. However, like, this is my life. My goal is to be able to regulate my menstrual cycle, reduce my symptoms, and just to be at a more comfortable level versus like having to struggle or push through some of the symptoms and some of the pain I get here and there. But overall, like, I feel like the diet has helped a lot. I've remained gluten-free. The goal eventually, I would say, like, if possible, if I can just go back to eating gluten in the future, that would be amazing. But I know I have to be patient and, you know, step by step. I have to figure out what works with me, and that's just like how life is. You get to figure out what works for you, what you love, what you don't love. I'm still figuring it out. I'm in my late 20s, and I feel like I'm barely figuring things out. And for a really long time, I was really focused on just my health because I was barely getting by. And now I really want to focus on my career, and I'm going all in. I'm locking in this year with YouTube, and now that I'm at a more comfortable level with my health versus like being in pain like a few months ago or like a year ago, this is me speaking it out into the universe that I'm locking in with content creation as my career. And, you know, good thing I've already had 2 brand deals this year, which is amazing. So with that next paycheck, I'm gonna treat myself. because I deserve it and because I want to, and I love myself, and I love to invest in myself, my health, my wellness, and invest in what I love to do. Anyways, see you in a bit.
Girl Scout troops at the top. So if you miss us today, there'll be other ones.
Oh my god, y'all, I literally was just saying that I am trying to lower, like not eat as much sugar, and I passed by Girl Scout cookies, the Girl Scouts, and I panicked. I was like, oh my god, I love the Samoas, but they changed the name. But I ended up getting these. They're gluten-free. However, they do have caramel in it, and like caramel is probably not the best for me, but I think I'm gonna be late to my train now. See, like this says gluten-free almond flour tortillas. So typically I'll shop and buy gluten-free stuff as well as cheese. Like I'll buy dairy-free cheese. However, when it comes to like that cookie that my friend made me, that most likely had dairy in it, and I did eat it. So it's just like I have to pick and choose my days when I'm willing to eat dairy, if that makes sense. Like the Girl Scout cookies, those most likely have dairy. Oh, they have chocolate chips which have dairy, so I have to pick and choose. I'm back home. It is such a beautiful day today. I'm so glad that I went to go get my lab work during the day, because in the morning it wasn't as sunny as it is now. So now it's 5 p.m. and it's been 2 months since going gluten-free. I started going gluten-free in January to see if it helps with some of my symptoms. And in my YouTube video, I did like 10 days going gluten-free, and then at the end I decided that I would continue going gluten-free and dairy-free. But you know, if there's situations where I'm out and about and I go out to eat with friends and there's like nothing else to eat, then I'll eat gluten. So like in those situations I would eat gluten or dairy. I would say another big one is also minimizing my sugar intake. Poppies, this is what I was drinking earlier. They're my go-to sodas, and they're probiotic, which is really good for your stomach. They have 4 grams of added sugar, total 5 grams of sugar. So I have to pick and choose which days I'm willing to have a bit more sugar. So for example, I'll add honey to my yogurt, to my plant-based yogurt. What I purchase when I go grocery shopping, I don't buy anything that has gluten. I buy dairy-free cheese and dairy-free butter, as well as grain-free chips as my snacks. Now, since January, there's been maybe like a handful of times where I do decide to have gluten. For example, what I mentioned earlier, my friend made these cookies which had dairy in them. I had them. What else? There was a gluten-free cookie I had in the city once. I think it was like Levain Bakery. Yeah, Levain Bakery. I had a gluten-free cookie. I was really craving sugar. That was another time. When I make shrimp, I use dairy-free butter. When I add cheese to my food, I use dairy-free cheese. So next week, I have another visit with my endocrinologist, and that is when we're gonna go over my lab results. I took the labs today, and next week we'll discuss it with my endocrinologist. Some of the tests that today I did was like to check my iron levels, my ferritin levels, TSH levels, T3, T4. Next week or later this week, I'll be able to see my results. And next week, I'll discuss it with my endocrinologist and we'll go from there. As well as my primary care doctor, we're gonna go over like my iron levels. I would say as women, another very common symptom I feel like some of us experience is like if you ever stand up really quickly and you feel like a little dizzy and fatigued, that could be like low iron. So that's something I'm also trying to work on. So yeah, I am just trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out what works best for me. The goal is like I don't want to be gluten-free for the rest of my life. I do really want to be able to go back to eating bread. And if I ever travel Europe, I'm putting it out into the universe. I would love to travel Europe, especially after watching Bridgerton. Season 4 just came out and I am in love with that show. I've never been so obsessed with that show. I'm going a little off topic, but I think that for my 30th birthday, I want to have a Bridgerton themed party. I'm putting it out into the universe. I don't know where I'll get the dresses, but it'll find me. Where was I? This is where my scatterbrain is like going everywhere. Yeah, the goal is to not always be gluten-free. I would love to go back to eating bread, gluten, and dairy as well, because I do really love it. But since then, there's been a handful of times where I'll take a bite of something, or like today. Today was a perfect example. It's such a beautiful day. The Girl Scouts were out there with hawk eyes. Actually, they didn't even need to try hard. I just like went in. I was like, oh my God, I love these. I was like, man, I wonder if they have gluten-free options. And they did. I got this. $6, not bad. For some reason I thought they were like $20. But the only thing about this is I do not like that it has caramel chocolate. No, I don't like that it has caramel. It like gets stuck to my tooth. So I'll take a bite of it. If I don't like it, at least I supported a good cause. If I don't like it, I'll just like not eat it, give it to someone. So yeah, we're gonna try these. I would say the past 2 months, every time I go grocery shopping, I have not bought sweets at all whatsoever. Actually, there is one. This is the only thing I've purchased that has a lot of sugar since going gluten-free. Get Back to Human. I actually really like them because it's only made with 6 simple ingredients and it's dark chocolate. I always prefer dark chocolate over regular chocolate. It's just healthier for you. And let's see. It uses cashew butter. It doesn't actually use real butter. It says organic cacao, organic unrefined coconut sugar, organic cashew butter, which is not real butter, like dairy butter, organic cocoa butter, organic vanilla bean, and sea salt right there. Yeah, so that's some of the updates so far. I don't know if this will make it into the YouTube video because I am gonna visit home next week. We're gonna surprise my grandma on her 60th birthday. Well, technically her 62nd birthday. She's always late to everything, so we're celebrating her 60th birthday late. I think honestly, when I visit home, there's gonna be a lot of Mexican food like enchiladas. Enchiladas are my favorite and they do have cheese. I think I will have cheese then. However, I have noticed that in warmer weather, my symptoms, like my achy joints, do improve in warmer weather. So hopefully that will like rule that out. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with the flow. Another thing I've been like avoiding as well is, shoot, I should have read this beforehand. Naturally flavored with other natural flavors. Literally, when it says naturally flavored, it's not naturally flavored. It's very processed. So I'm trying to avoid things like that as well, which is why I like Better Human. No. What's it called? Get Back to Human, because it's only made with 6 simple ingredients. I always look at the ingredients because if it's too much stuff, like it may not be the best. Anyways, I will see you later this week. I guess this will be like a week in my life with Hashimoto's. Oh, I bit myself. Anyways. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I've never actually ever said that out loud. So this YouTube video, I decided to start filming for this YouTube video because one, the very first day of filming was just such a beautiful day. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me do a week in my life living with Hashimoto's, especially because this month, March is Autoimmune Awareness Month, and this year is the very first year where I'm aware that I have an autoimmune disease. It's now mid-March, and so now I've decided to do a week in my life living with an autoimmune disease. And in this video, you'll see many things I'll show you and take you all around with me, like the things I deal with throughout the week. And there was other things that I did throughout the week, but I'm only showing things that are related to my autoimmune disease. So yeah, I hope you enjoy, and if you're also living with an autoimmune disease, I want you to know to keep going, keep pushing, don't give up, you're not alone, just don't give up on yourself. And I'm very, very thankful that I've come a long way. I most likely had an autoimmune disease for the past few years, I just wasn't aware about it. So if you have little signals and little signs that come your way, little signs from your body that is like out of balance, it's important to listen, because for a really long time, I wasn't really listening to my body to the point where my body's like, okay, you better listen. It's about to go down. It's about to get worse. I wasn't able to eat out with friends. I wasn't able to work. I wasn't able to work while eating, which is something I'm still struggling with. Like, I physically cannot work while eating because then it causes me discomfort and my stomach will hurt. I'm working towards having a better, healthier body. and that is one of my goals. Like, there was a lot of things in my life that I wasn't able to do, and it made me realize that in the past I took it all for granted. So now moving forward, I'm very, very thankful with the things I'm now able to do. I'm very proud of how far I've come, and you should be too. And there has been days where I feel like I've fallen back, but that's life. You're gonna have ups and downs. You're gonna take 10 steps forward and then like 9 steps back, and that's like the beauty of life. And I really do enjoy living life, and I hope you do too. And it's important to see the positive. I've said that a few times in this video, but I just hope you enjoy this video. So today's Wednesday. It's a really nice day. I'm gonna take my vitamins. Let's see. So we have krill oil, NAD to age better, and magnesium. There's 3. This one you're supposed to drink with warm water, but I'll pour some warm water right now. So when I first started filming for this specific vlog, I was like, I knew I was going to vlog for sure tomorrow, because tomorrow I'll be in the city and there's like a lot of errands I need to do. However, earlier this week was the first day of the vlog, and I went to Hoboken to do lab work. I guess I'll be able to share my results more once I see my endocrinologist. That's when she's able to say like whether she's going to increase my dosage in my medication or lower my dosage in my medication. So I was like, okay, maybe for this vlog it could be like a week in my life of things I have to do living with an autoimmune disease. And I did a meal prep this week, but meal prepping is a big thing because my diet makes a huge difference in my symptoms. And fun fact, or like super random, but I actually had to go to the ER yesterday, and it wasn't anything severe. However, like for me to go to the ER, I never ever want to go to the ER. The first time I ever went to the ER was when I was like 7 and my appendix bursted. So I was a kid. I didn't know what happened. I barely remember. I just know I was in a lot of pain. I had a fever, and then as well as like I was throwing up insanely. So the reason why I went to the ER yesterday was just for safety reasons. So my endocrinologist also, she prescribes me 2 medications, and one of them, she specifically said if I get a headache and it doesn't go away with ibuprofen or Advil, go to the ER. And I guess it was a migraine, and I still have to follow up with my primary care doctor. However, 2 days before, I was getting a small headache at night, and then I woke up and it was still kind of there, but it got worse over the day. Like there was a very tender spot on one side, and typically I guess migraines are one-sided. And I touched it and it just like felt super tender. It kind of like spread. So I was like, oh my goodness. After that, I felt very dizzy. I felt lightheaded. It was like really hard for me to carry my bag. Any like quick movement, I would get like blurry vision. So then I got home, and then I was like, okay, let me pop some ibuprofen, take a nap, and then see if it gets better. And typically if I don't get enough sleep, I do tend to like, it gets harder for me, because one thing is like for most people, for all people, your immune system is there to fight any sicknesses. It's there to support and protect you and just like battle any pathogens or any sicknesses that come your way. So when I'm low on sleep, my immune system is even like at a lower performance. Like my immune system is already attacking my thyroid. So when it's low on sleep, then it's even worse. So I guess maybe it was not getting enough sleep. I got 7 hours of sleep, and so let's go back. Sometimes I'm like a scatterbrain. It's like kind of annoying. So then, oh, right, we're making a matcha. Let's see. Also, I don't know how to multitask. Let me do this first. I love these cups. I'm gonna let the whisk soak in hot water, warm water. Throughout the day yesterday, it got worse to the point where, once I got home, I decided to pop ibuprofen. And then I was like, let me take a nap to see if that gets better. And once I woke up from my nap, I got up and I feel like it got worse. Like it was throbbing. There's a certain area near my temple that was throbbing. I was like, you know what? I've had headaches. I've never had anything like this. This is very unique. But I panicked because my own endocrinologist said that if I get a headache and it doesn't go away with painkillers or ibuprofen, to go to the emergency room. And she's like, she literally told me this twice during my 2 visits. She specifically gave those instructions and was like, you have to make sure to go to the ER, because if you don't, there could be complications. And she mentioned that recently one of her patients got a headache, didn't go to the ER, and had an aneurysm. So I thought it was very severe. So then we went to the ER around 7:30 p.m. Me and Sergio, he was able to go with me. He's such a supportive partner, and I felt so bad because yesterday was his birthday. And because of like my headache and just like trying to deal with that, I didn't get the chance to post about his birthday. I guess that's my love language. I love to post about my loved ones. I didn't get to post for his birthday. He loves Chipotle. I wasn't able to go to Chipotle with him. And so we were at the ER from like 7:30 to like 10:30. We were at the ER from like 7:30 to like 2 a.m. And that is why I hate the ER. I hate it. Hate is a strong word. I hate the ER. But being there made me realize, like, man, these people put in work. The nurses, the doctors, like, they're also low in sleep too. They're doing these 24 hours or even more. I don't know how long their shifts are. And then I was able to be seen around, I would say 11:30. And then once they finally saw me, they gave me liquids, they gave me steroids. I don't think I've ever been given steroids. They asked if the pain got better. It didn't get better. So then they gave me more medication, like more painkillers. And then they also did a CAT scan. So my priority was like, okay, the reason why I went was just to make sure that I was good, just to play it safe, literally just to play it safe. Only because of what my endocrinologist told me. And then they did the CAT scan, no bleeding, no aneurysm, thank God. And then finally around 2 a.m., that's when I finished all my liquids. And then they're like, okay, well, we've done everything we could. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to discharge you, follow up with your primary care doctor, and go from there. I feel good today, so that's good. Yeah, I really do not love the ER. I try to avoid it at all costs. I think maybe if I went to the urgent care during business hours, it would have been a bit better. But I was just trying to like push through the day to make sure like I'm doing everything at home that I can in order to prevent the ER. So later on I have my OT appointment, which is for occupational therapy for both my hands. And then right now I'm gonna make matcha. I just ate breakfast. I didn't work out today just because I want to focus more on my work. And then later on go to Newport area. Well, technically it's Jersey City. Yeah, this is just to tell you all, like, be safe. It's better safe than sorry. Yeah, I forget that like there's little things here and there that I have to make sure I meet so that I don't have other things that come up. I forget so much. Like just the other day I was struggling with my hair. I struggle with my hair every day, especially because I feel like it's gotten more dry and very frizzy ever since like I moved over here. But I feel like it's been escalating now that I'm taking medication for Hashimoto's, which is levothyroxine. So that's like a daily struggle with me. I have to remind myself that I have to love my hair. My hair protects me. It's literally, it has the DNA of my ancestors, and I have to remember to love it, because just the other day someone was like, oh yeah, like they mentioned this specific person not having hair. So then I'm like, okay, I have to be grateful that I do have hair. I have to be grateful that I can eat food now. I have to be grateful that, yeah, although I can't have very like spicy food or very sweet food, I'm thankful that I can have other things. I have to remind myself that I have to be thankful, and I have to have like a specific perspective. If I always say, I hate my hair, oh, I hate this, oh, I don't like this, like that's all you're gonna see. You're not gonna see any of the good. But it's also important to see the bad, to be able to have that balance in life, like the yin and yang, the good and the bad, the ometeo, the duality of life. Yeah, yesterday was just kind of a reminder of, yes, although I want to focus more on my work, I cannot ignore or disregard the other things that are necessary for me, such as feeding myself whole foods, healthy foods, getting enough sleep, managing my stress levels, managing my anxiety, getting my movement, because if I don't get my movement, I do tend to like tense up more. which is like an example. Like in my last YouTube video, I was sitting down for 3 hours to get my nails done. My shoulders were getting super tense, my stomach was getting in a knot. So movement is very important for me. It helps move stagnant energy. This is me putting it out in the universe. But when I'm able to start making more income, and I'm blessed and thankful that I have been able to make some income this year. Once I'm able to get more income with my work, I really want to invest in acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine, and seeing like a special herbalist to be able to like really focus on the root cause. Because a lot of the time there is imbalances in your body or in your soul, or stagnant energy, or trauma, or mal de ojo, or fear, and it manifests into a physical disease or physical illness. And I truly believe that's what happened with me in the past. I was so stressed that all of this manifested into chronic stress, IBS, and Hashimoto's. And many people have said that Hashimoto's is like a lifelong disease, but I have faith that somehow, some way in the future, I will be able to get off this medication and just focus more on my diet, my herbs, my traditional Chinese medicine, and acupuncture, and hierbas, and like curanderismo. So I am putting this out into the universe because I know it will be achievable. I don't know how, I just have to have faith. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you later. And I'm gonna make my matcha now and head to the 4th floor. I'm gonna head to the workstation here in my apartment. So yeah. I made a hojicha instead of a matcha. My head feels amazing today. I don't feel bad or anything. I'm ready to start my day, charge my day, get shit done. And then I always use a straw with matcha or hojicha or soda, anything, because I bought like over-the-counter teeth whitening. Some dentists have told me like, yeah, you have to make sure that once you get your teeth whitening, you really have to take care of your teeth, because it's happened where they do teeth whitening on a patient or a client, and 3 months later their teeth are back to normal, and it's because coffee, soda, it all stains your teeth. So I always drink with a straw. I bought these to-go cups and it didn't come with straws. And yes, I still use a glass straw, even though I saw the TikTok where like the girl's throat got cut by a glass straw. So yeah, I still do that. Anyways, cheers. Also, I'm just so happy that like this week I know I'm gonna do 2 YouTube videos in 1 week. I'm filming this one, and tomorrow I'm gonna do like a day in the city. And it just feels so good because for like 2 weeks this year I didn't post a vlog or anything, no long form content on YouTube. And I was like, damn, like, that was my goal this year, to really be locked in and go all in on YouTube. So I just feel really good and proud of myself. I feel really proud of myself because I know I'm vlogging twice this week. Yeah, I really hope that whatever your hopes and dreams are, you push for them. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot. Literally, your biggest critic is yourself. Like what I was saying earlier, if you only focus on the bad, that's all you're ever going to see. But you have to make sure to look at the good, even throughout the bad, and really acknowledge the bad as well, because that's going to help make you grow. And I feel like everything that has happened to me, the good and the bad, it has shaped me in a good way. And there's been times where I lost myself too, where I'm like, I lost sight of myself. I was becoming more cruel. And even to this day, sometimes I'm like, you know what, I could be a bit nicer. And I'm not trying to be nice just to be nice towards them. I'm trying to be nice because I know it's also good for myself and good for them. And it just allows a better and more beautiful energy to be shared between you and that other person, whether it's family, friends. And yes, you have to be I'm very picky with who I share my energy with as well, just because everyone sees things differently, and that's the beauty of life. But I think it's even more beautiful. And I think it's even more beautiful when you really like share energy with someone on the same frequency. And you could have different frequencies in different areas of your life, but it's really beautiful when you meet someone like a friend, even family, or even you have your friends, which is more like your chosen family, and then you have your family, which you didn't really necessarily choose, but you choose to spend time with them. And I am so excited to go home. That'll be a surprise. Actually, I shouldn't say that part. I'm gonna surprise my grandma. When do I get this YouTube video? Okay, I'll share that later. But anyways, yeah, that was it. So I'm on my way to my OT appointment, and I have a few minutes before my appointment, but it's like so beautiful right now. I'm here in Jersey City, and I want to show you how beautiful the buildings look. I just want to walk over there to where the water is, just because I know when I get out there won't be as much sun. I ended up changing because earlier it was like really sunny and beautiful, but as like time went by, it just got like more cloudy. Actually, I feel like when I get out right at like 7:30, it's going to be just the beginning or like the end of the sunset, so maybe it'll look more beautiful then. I always love looking over at the buildings from this side. It's just, New York looks so beautiful, and honestly, when it's actually like sunset time, it just looks so beautiful. The way the sun reflects off the buildings is just so nice. So who knows, maybe once I get out of my appointment, it'll actually look even more beautiful, but who knows. Yeah, I'm on my way to my OT appointment, and like I mentioned before, I see my OT because I do have like inflammation in my wrist, so I just see her once a week. I'm not gonna film in there just because they are they're a little strict. They don't even let me take out my phone. Like, I could be on my phone, but like in regards to filming on your phone or even filming with this DJI, they wouldn't allow it. But yeah, it's a really nice day today. Right now there's sun, however earlier it was getting gloomy, and that's why I changed, because it is starting to get a little cold, but not too bad, not too bad. I'm actually glad I did walk over to the water earlier before my appointment, just because now, as you can see, it's very dark, but you can see how beautiful the buildings look from here. It feels so good right now to be outside with just like a sweater. There's the wind, it's not too cold. I could feel spring coming, and I could feel the summer coming, and it makes me so happy and excited because I literally love the hot weather. I prefer humid weather, hot weather, over like the snow. Okay, so I'm currently working out. Yesterday I had gluten. I had dinner with a friend, and I'm pretty sure there was gluten in it and a little bit of dairy, but look how dry my hands are. It's insanely dry. Like, this is crazy, crazy. Like, this is the most dry I've ever seen my hands. It's insane. For the most part, I try to remain gluten-free, but as for yesterday, I was like, okay, well, let me just not go gluten-free for like one meal, and I feel like I definitely feel it today. I woke up feeling very groggy, a little anxious, just very like, I didn't wake up very calm. I woke up really anxious. Anyways, yeah, today's just one of those days where I don't feel my best, and I feel like it was the food I ate yesterday. I truly feel like it was the food I ate yesterday. Diet makes a big difference in my symptoms and how I feel, my mental state, etc. Today's gonna be a better day. I'm going to make food, like I'm gonna cook food at home, really be intentional and know exactly what I'm putting in my food versus like eating out. You don't know exactly what they're putting in your food, what kind of meat, how processed the meat is, etc. But yeah, today's gonna be a better day. I could feel it. I have to really like focusing and putting my energy towards a better day, and I have to really believe that. So in one of my most recent YouTube videos, I decided to go gluten-free to see if that helps with like improving some of my symptoms I'm experiencing due to Hashimoto's, and one of them being dry hands. So this is like proof that the day after eating gluten, I just am getting really dry hands, and it's been a good like month and a half since I've experienced super dry hands ever since going gluten-free. So yeah, it was most likely due to that. But like I said, it wasn't the best morning, but we're gonna work out now. It's gonna be a better day, and we're just gonna charge the day. I've mentioned this before, but I really truly believe that movement always helps me like snap out of that mentality where I'm feeling kind of funky. I love to work out first thing in the morning because it does help me start the day on like a good note. I didn't wake up as early as I would have liked to. However, we're gonna get this workout done. I always feel so much better after a workout. It helps me so much. It's so good for my mind, body, soul. It's good for my body. The body can do such wonderful things. It's more capable than you think you can do, but you also have to allow yourself to rest and digest and not push yourself to limits all the time. Every once in a while is good, but not all the time, because then you're just in that chronic state of chronic stress. You're in that chronic state of fight or flight. I'm done with my workout. I feel so much better. I'm showered and now I need to do my skincare routine and my hair. I always struggle with my hair so much. I feel like sometimes it does better without products. It's just getting frizzier and frizzier every day. I feel like no matter the anti-frizz products I use, my hair is still super frizzy, but also I feel like it's getting drier and drier with the medication I'm taking. So today, before my workout, I only put sunscreen on because I knew I was gonna shower after my workout. Usually I just shower at night, but today was like, I really needed to wash my hair. Like my hair was getting crusty. I like to use the Glow Recipe moisturizer or sometimes the Tatcha one, but Tatcha could be expensive. So I really want to start vlogging a lot more and just posting more YouTube videos if possible, like weekly. And I feel like I got a good groove this week. I filmed twice this week. There's this YouTube video and then there's the other one where I'm like looking for an outfit for like a 70s themed disco party. So I feel really good about like filming twice this week for YouTube. However, my camera, the new DJI I just got, the screen is like tilted, so we have to send it back. We have to send it back so that it can get fixed, but I saw that it's gonna take, there's like a delay right now with the factory, and it's gonna take 30 to 90 days. Actually, no, 60 to 90 days. That's 2 months. That's a lot of time. I'm like, ugh. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll have to wait it out and film with my phone. But I just got this DJI. I've only done one other YouTube video using the DJI. Let's see, what else do I need? I like to use this sunscreen. I also want to use the Tatcha one, but that one's expensive as well. But I like this one because it keeps my skin nice and dewy. And then I like to add some to my neck because the neck ages as well. The neck ages first. Your face, your neck, and your hands age first. I'm like, man, but I feel much better after that workout. Like I said, I woke up feeling kind of off, kind of groggy. I feel like that workout really helped with like jumping back into like a positive state of mind. However, whenever I wash my hair, I always struggle so much to do my hair. Like I feel like it's getting a lot more frizzier and dry and brittle, possibly due to the medication, but also I feel like over the years my autoimmune disease, which is Hashimoto's, I feel like it just developed over the years and I didn't realize at the time, and makes sense as to why my hair was getting drier and drier by like the years and even the months, especially once I moved out here to the East Coast. And I was watching, I was just trying to educate myself, but a lot of the time, like when someone has dry hair, it could be due to hormonal imbalances, iron deficiency, a deficiency in another element. That could be due to my thyroid, could be due to a low iron as well. And so right now I want to order biotin to take that as a supplement. I've heard that's really good for hair, skin, and nails. I also take collagen, which is really good for aging, hair, skin, and nails, and joint support. But I want to add more to help my hair. Oh, I forgot this one. I forgot to add this one. I typically do sunscreen last. I do not like to add anything after sunscreen, but we're gonna say fuck it. Like sometimes I wish I had that really shiny hair like other people have, like it's so shiny and healthy. I have to accept that this is my hair. I have to work with what I have. I'm gonna get a trim. I think another thing too, I want to be more on top of like trimming my hair every 3 months. And that means going to a hairstylist that is not my mom, because I've always gotten my hair cut by my mom. She's a hairstylist. No one else has ever touched my hair, so I'm a little scared for that. So I'm gonna visit home soon. But once I come back, I do plan on starting to get like trims here in New Jersey or New York City. So let's see how that goes. Another thing, what I'm trying to say is that next time you see someone with really dry hair, I feel like now that I've been on the other side as to like really struggling with dry and brittle hair, it's more like instead of judging them, I could be like, you know what? I could ask them like, hey girl, how are you doing? Are you getting enough sleep? How's your iron? Just because for a while I was anemic and I would stand up, get super lightheaded. One time I almost like fell over. You know, after that I was on my iron supplements. That could be a big thing too when you're low on iron or your thyroid isn't working properly. That could make a huge impact on how healthy your hair will be. Moving forward, there's all these little things I want to work on and focus on with my health. There's a lot of things I want to work on that's physical, mental, as well as spiritual. So that's where I'm at right now. Yeah, the goal right now is to get back on a healthy menstrual cycle with like my period, but also like really work on the health of my hair. So I'm just trying to get back on track with like really loving my hair. I want to love all parts of myself, even the imperfections. I am happy and I'm blessed and thankful that I have hair on my head. I just know that it can be healthier, and that comes down to nutrition, supplements, and even like scalp care. Mom, if you're watching this, I know she's always judging me on how I put products. She's like, you're not putting enough products on. But I've tried both methods. I've tried putting a lot of products on, and then I tried also like no products. And I feel like typically my hair does better when I don't have products in it. At least for the first day. And then the second day I start to have my hair up. And that's when I use gel, and that's when I slick my hair back. But all right here, this is me being vulnerable. But all here, you can see that it's super frizzy. My hair wasn't like this a few months ago, and they like stick out like crazy. And I think it's my medication. So, you know, the goal is down the road is I don't want to be on medication my whole life. I want to be able to be off medication. And thankfully in the past I was on omeprazole due to like heartburn and a lot of acid reflux. And I was able to get off it. Every once in a while I'll still experience heartburn, but not as severe as before. When I'm angry, I experience heartburn. Like I could feel my blood boiling, but also like I could feel the heartburn coming, and it's getting stronger by the minute. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. Yeah, the goal is to not be on medication my whole life, and I want strong, soft, and beautiful hair, and being proud of my hair. I want to be proud of my hair. I'm very thankful that I have hair on my head, but I really want to be proud of my hair. And this frizz has to go, and I know that it's something going on inside of me, you know, due to my thyroid. I just hope that I'm able to achieve that. I'm putting it out into the universe. I've tried hair masks. I've tried the Olaplex, Olaplex Bond Shaper Curl Rebuilding Treatment, and that made my hair look healthier for like 2 months, but then it goes away. So that's like a treatment. I want to be able to have really healthy hair on my own, making sure I'm eating healthy and whole foods and protein, nutrition, all that good stuff. I've tried like the curl hair routine with like this brush, the TikTok one, the bounce curl one. I've tried a lot of different methods, but my hair always seems to get super dry. Like I want big, beautiful, healthy hair. If there's a sickness or a hormonal imbalance going on in your body, it's usually your skin and your hair at the forefront of showing any like deficiencies or any malnutrition. That's why sometimes if you're super stressed, you can break out. Some people experience like if they're super stressed, they break out in hives. So your skin is at the forefront, and so is your hair. So yes, love yourself, love your body, love your hair. learn to love it and all the imperfections. And I'm there with you. I'm still trying to learn how to love my hair day by day. I've also tried blow drying it, and typically when I blow dry it, I feel like it gets more frizzy and it looks very dry even after adding like oil to it. Like something like this or this that I add on afterwards for shine. And whenever I blow dry my hair, I use like a heat protector spray. So yeah, I'm on a mission on getting big, beautiful, healthy hair. So before I showered, I liked use these two, and I like scratched my head. I've heard that this helps with bringing blood to your hair follicles and allowing it for growth. So I've heard these are really good to help with hair growth and scalp care. I also made rosemary water, and I'm adding that into my hair before I shower. So I spray some onto my scalp, and then I comb it with this. So hopefully that helps as well. Like, I don't want to be ashamed of my hair. I want to be proud of my hair. So that's one of my goals too for this year, is having big, beautiful hair. Because literally my hair is a representation of my ancestors, of all the generations that came before me, that fought for me, that fought for a better life. Like, everything that you do today, all your choices will impact the next 7 generations that come after you. And so I'm trying to get back on track with my health so that I can help pass on like healthier habits to the generations that come after me. Also, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying talking to the camera. I'm enjoying talking to all of you. I feel like I can share more about me with all of you. I hope that this finds other people and other girlies that are struggling with an autoimmune disease as well, because it can be challenging, but it's really nice to know that you have other people in your community that support you, or that you can uplift each other. My hair is starting to get frizzy. I even put some the We Dad All-in-One Leave-In Conditioner Anti-Frizz Nanotechnology. I tried, Frizz Me Not. Oh, I got lightheaded. Okay, well, my DJI is gonna die soon. Also, I feel like I'm getting some bald spots in my eyebrows. Most likely from using like gel on my eyebrows, because it kind of like pulls and tugs on the eyebrow hairs and some of it falls out. But I've also seen that a symptom of Hashimoto's is like eyebrow hair falling off. So I'm like, oh shoot. So yeah, I'm just trying to do a bunch of preventative things. Eat really good, eat my nutrients, get enough nutrients so that I can prevent other symptoms from creeping in. If you're also struggling with a health issue or living with an autoimmune disease, I hope that you know that life can be very beautiful. It's important to keep pushing, but also being gentle with your body and respecting your body and really listening to your body. There's other times where I've pushed my body and the outcome wasn't as good, or the next day my symptoms came back. So it's important to listen to your body. This is me in the future on a Sunday, but Friday after I ate food, I got very, very fatigued, like to the point where my head was throbbing. I had to sit down. So another symptom is I get extremely fatigued here and there, not all the time. Sometimes I'm very energized. Sometimes I feel like, whoa, I could do a lot. I work out through the week as well, and I feel like I have a good amount of energy to work out. But there's been moments where, especially eating or throughout the day, it's like random hits of fatigue to the point where I really have to like rest my eyes, because then my head is throbbing. But this feeling is different just because I know how it feels to be tired from sleeping, and I know how it feels to be tired from like a workout. But this fatigue is different. It's almost like after I eat, my body is having a hard time to digest food. So my body wants me to just focus on digesting my food versus doing other things. And I feel like my whole body starts to shut down a little bit. So that's another symptom I'm experiencing, but as well as something I'm learning to navigate. And instead of eating large meals, I'm eating more frequently throughout the day, like smaller portions versus a really big portion, which like my body doesn't do very well with. So yeah, that was my symptom for Friday that I did not show. I was too tired and fatigued to show pretty much. Okay, this is my first time taking pre-workout. I've never taken pre-workout, especially because with like my stomach and IBS, my stomach cannot handle caffeine. It can't handle coffee. but it can handle matcha, but not on an empty stomach. And Sergio, how much do you usually take?
Like 100 milligrams of caffeine.
Oh shit, that's a lot. So I'm only having 1/3. I'm a little nervous because of my stomach, but we'll find out. It's very sweet. I can't have a lot of sugar. I just woke up too, and I don't feel like doing my hair for the gym. Why is it Godzilla?
That's why I bought it. That's how you know it works. I don't think there's any sugar. It's probably just like sweeteners.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
Sweeteners is worse than regular sugar. Yeah, anyways, I've never had pre-workout. I'm a little nervous because of my IBS. That last part was like salty. Also, I generally do not do well with like energy drinks. I feel like it gives me a lot of anxiety. All right, so it's 3 p.m. on a Sunday. It's the end of the week. So with the workout, with the pre-workout, I felt fine. Sergio asked me if like I felt any tingling on my face. I was like, no, I don't feel anything. He's like, okay, I don't think you're feeling it. So perhaps next time, hopefully I can try half of the normal dosage versus 1/3, which is what I took today. And I decided to film that part just because with this YouTube video, it's like week in my life with Hashimoto's and how my week goes. So basically there's days where I have to choose and pick which days I'm willing to try something new because I don't know how it's going to sit with my stomach, and as well as if I'm willing to go through the pain. For example, yesterday we celebrated Sergio's birthday. Tuesday it was his birthday. However, I was in the ER, so we couldn't really do anything. So yesterday we went out to go eat at a Peruvian restaurant, and I decided to have dairy, as well as there was like the ceviche, which was really, really good, but it had some spice, and obviously it's very citrusy. Ceviche is very citrusy. So there was that. I usually have to like eat things in moderation that's very acidic or citrusy because it does give me heartburn. The food was bomb. It was really, really good. However, the appetizers did have gluten, I believe. So I decided to have gluten, and I decided to have dairy, which was fine with my stomach. However, because it was like a lot of food that I was eating, obviously it had more seasoning, more spice to it. I did wake up with a lot of burping and bloating. Like I dreamt that I was burping, and I was able to like, this is gonna sound gross, but I was able to like smell it in my dream. So when I woke up to burping, and this was like 6 a.m., 5 a.m. It was still dark. So I was like, okay, let me go to the bathroom. I had this really weird taste in my mouth, and I just kept burping and burping. And that's just like a day in my life. There's days where I choose to eat more, I guess, eat things that's better for my stomach versus days that are special, such as the other day where I ate out with a friend that I hadn't seen in a while. And as well as yesterday celebrating Sergio's birthday, I decided to eat a lot more spice, a lot more, some gluten, and just like things I don't usually eat on the daily. So the consequence was just a lot of burping, and I had this really, really weird taste in my mouth. So that was last night. Yeah, today I had to deal with whether I'm willing to deal with an upset stomach, taking the pre-workout, but I was fine. So next time I'll just have half the dosage. I also meal prep during the week that I didn't film. Basically, when I cook for myself, I usually just cook with olive oil or avocado oil, as well as salt and pepper, and I go easy with the seasonings. A little bit of onion salt, a little bit of garlic powder, not a lot. There's days where I've gone a little bit more with the garlic powder, and I was just burping a lot. And a lot of bloating as well. So yeah, I'm gonna meal prep later. I don't think I'm gonna film that. It's a love and hate relationship with cooking. I'm not a huge fan of cooking, but I cook for the most part just to be able to so that it sits better and easier with my stomach. I think this is the end. I'm pretty sure this is the end of my YouTube video for this week, since it's basically the end of the week. It's Sunday and tomorrow's a new day. So thanks so much for watching. If you're also with Hashimoto's or dealing with IBS or an autoimmune disease, I hope that you know it's important to keep pushing, to listen to your body, or try starting a food journal. I'm now starting to track my protein, my daily protein. However, I do have a food journal. I have a food journal where I write down what I eat, especially if I don't get the chance to write down everything I eat. I for sure write down the days where I experience like a lot of bloating, gas, acid reflux, because then I can kind of see like what works for me and what doesn't work for me. So like yesterday, I knew that I was gonna have some bloating and gas and burping with all that food, but I decided to go through with the pain just because like I don't always want to live in fear. Like my goal is to be able to eat comfortably, and now with time, I'm now able to add a lot more to my palate. For a long time, I wasn't really able to eat much, just oats, water, boring chicken, literally just chicken, no salt, no pepper, no oil. It would upset my stomach, and that caused a lot of fear in me. So moving forward, I have to really own up to my decisions. And there's been moments where I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that, or I'm like, oh, Sergio, I shouldn't have eaten that. And I kind of sometimes I blame myself or I blame others, like, oh, you pressured me. But no, like I have to take ownership on that, and I have to really make sure to really own my decisions and not let fear like take over. Back when I wasn't able to eat much, with time I got better. So I have to have that mentality of really believing that I will get better. And so that's why every now and then I try to add something new into my diet to be able to see if my stomach could handle it. Because if I stay in that fear mentality and that fear mindset, I will never move forward and progress, if that makes sense. I have to sometimes make sacrifices to be able to see if I've gotten better or I'm at the same spot, and then move forward from there. For example, 2 years ago, like I said, I only ate chicken, no salt, no pepper. But if I always stayed like that, I wouldn't have been able to now eat food with seasoning. Not too much seasoning, but with some seasoning. And I'm very, very grateful for that. Anyways, now this is the end of the YouTube video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.